deferred. Ohio State will receive, and here we go. Brandon Ennis is the deep man. This one into the end zone for a touchback, and that brings on Julian Sayin, the California quarterback, who's been playing some lights-out football for Ryan Day.
I tell you, it's his poise as a young guy. Touched on it just a little bit ago, and his accuracy. Those are his best traits. And if you're going to be the quarterback of this offense, you're going to have opportunities. There's no doubt. With all that skill around him, including Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate. I'm interested to see how aggressive Ohio State is early in this game with Julian Sayin on the road.
Sayin last week against Minnesota, 23 of 27, 326, 3 touchdowns, no picks. 1st and 10 at the 25. Bo Jackson, the talented freshman in the backfield. Sayin throwing on 1st down. Underneath, he's got his man, Brandon Ennis. Everybody talks about Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. Brandon Ennis is a keeper as well, gain of 11. Let's take a look at Ohio State on offense.
Offensive line has been sensational this year. They have kept Julian Sayin clean, and then all the electricity on the outside, including the best player in America, Jeremiah Smith.
And on 1st down, Bo Jackson, young man from Cleveland. Defensively for Illinois, here we go.
Well, this defense has got a tall task ahead of them, and they're going to try to use a little bit of a different scheme today. Juice Clark, number 6 in the back end, is going to be following Jeremiah Smith around all day long. That is a matchup that we've got to pay attention to. And how much help will Illinois give Juice Clark over the top? Right now, he's in a one-on-one at the top of the screen.
2nd down and 8 at the 38-yard line. Sayin pulls it out. That ball deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 8. And what Aaron Henry, the Illinois defensive coordinator, said to us, the most important thing, get off the field on 3rd down. Rosiak tipped that ball. 3rd down and 8. And they are fired up here in Champaign-Urbana. C.J. Donaldson checks in at running back. Sayin out of the gun with time underneath. Caught. Guess who? Jeremiah Smith. 1st down, Ohio State, gain of 18.
They were double covering him out here, and yet he's still going to find the area in the middle of the field over here from the right side. You see him over the top, but he's able to get across the middle. Beautiful ball. Again, there's the accuracy, and it allows Jeremiah Smith to run right through that catch. So smooth for as big and athletic as he is. And it's a 1st down, Buckeyes.
You're looking at the best player in college football. 7 catches, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns against the Gophers last week. From the 44, Jackson trying to sweep around the left side, and he gets crunched. Malachi Hood, no gain.
Okay, this Illini defense, they've given up a lot of yards and points over the last couple of weeks to USC in a win, and even against Purdue in a win last week on the road. And they have got a tall task. One of the things they've got to do is disrupt the timing of Julian Sayin and get into his lap. It's tough to do against this offensive line, and you don't want to blitz because then you have one-on-ones on the outside.
2nd down and 10 at the 44. Opening series for the Buckeyes. Sayin takes his time, goes through his progressions, finds Carnell Tate. Tate coming off a huge game against Minnesota. 9 catches, 183.
What you want to do is try to get the tight end, but watch as the linebacker for Illinois is going to catch the tight end. What do? You go to this side and throw that little curl route. It's a nice job from Julian Sayin getting to his 2nd read.
Sayin throwing dimes already. 1st down at the 33. Sayin lofts it up. Incomplete. Carnell Tate, the intended receiver. Torrey Cox Jr., great coverage.
The secondary is going to be under duress. There's no doubt. Ohio State, these wide receivers, they're technically sound. They run great routes, but they're also very talented. Miles Scott, the free safety, he's got to play great. Juice Clark, number 6, he's got to be excellent in coverage.
8th play of the drive coming up. 2nd down and 10 at the 33. They'll hand it off to Jackson, who has a hole, hits the sideline. Jackson out of bounds at the 15. And I tell you what, partner, this kid was destined for greatness. His name is Bo Jackson.
He better be great, right? I mean, you can't be an average back if your name's Bo Jackson. That's up front, Luke Montgomery, number 51. Gus, when I watch the film, Luke Montgomery, number 51, he's playing the best football of anybody up front. They run it over to that left side. No one there, untouched. Jackson gets better every week as a true freshman. You see him just get more calm, more patient. The vision shows up, and they're a good burst.
First down for Ohio State at the 16-yard line of Illinois. Jackson again. Ooh. Some tough hitting there. Matthew Bailey coming up and making the stick.
Matthew Bailey, just a giant hit in the hole, and there is an Illinois player down. Torrey Cox, number 5. Here he is on the outside. There's the big hit from Matthew Bailey. And Torrey Cox just goes down to a knee. We'll check on him when we come back.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on. And by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. Time for today's game flow, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Gies Memorial Stadium here in Champaign. First game took place in 1923. Capacity 60,670. And Ohio State driving the football on their first series of the game, facing a 2nd and 7 at the 13-yard line. Bo Jackson remains in. Tate in motion. Inside handoff. Jackson with a little room. And he'll gain 3. And we talk about Bo Jackson being destined for greatness. Guess what his real name is?
What's that? What's that?
Lamar. So his name is Lamar Jackson. His daddy loved Bo Jackson, so he nicknamed him Bo. So it's Bo Lamar Jackson.
You got no choice.
Oh, my goodness.
You got to be great.
Come on now. What we doing, where we go, at 3rd down and 4. At the 10, C.J. Donaldson replaces Jackson. Ryan Day, what a coach. 11th play of the drive that started at the 25. Julian Sayin has been perfect. Sayin fakes the pitch. Shovel pass inside. Didn't fool anybody. Max Clare, the Purdue transfer, picks up 2. Well defended by the Fighting Illini. Kurt Neal there.
It looks like Ryan Day is going to take the 3. Remember on the first possession against Washington early in the year, he went for it on 4th and short in the red zone. They did not get it. Didn't get their first points until late in the 2nd quarter. Here, after a nice opening drive, he's going to attempt to take the points.
Jaden Fielding in to attempt a 26-yarder. He was 0 for 1 last week against Minnesota. Missed one from 53 yards. And it's good. Ohio State settles for the 3 points. They strike first blood. 3-0 Bucks. Here's our Good Hands moment, sponsored by Allstate, celebrating 20 years of the Allstate Good Hands Nets program. And the moment goes to Juice Williams and the Fighting Illini, who stunned the #1 Ohio State Buckeyes in 2007. It's Illinois' only win versus the top-ranked team since 1956. Coach B, Brett Bielema, what a job he's done. Led Illinois to a 10-3 season a year ago, the best since Ron Turner's 10-2 campaign in 2001, and only the 5th 10-win season in the program's 134-year history. Fighting Illini ready to get it back. Khalil Valentine back deep. He'll let this go into the end zone for a touchback.
Luke Altmaier playing some of the best football in the country. And Gus, his leadership is what has been so key after that poor performance against Indiana. the way that he's played the last couple of weeks, it gives the entire building confidence, and he's going to have to be great today. I think what's the most taxing thing about playing Ohio State is everything you've got to go through mentally as a quarterback. There's so many looks that this defense is going to give him. Every single play, this guy is going to be going through it all.
First down and 10 at the 25. Altmaier on first down, play action, he'll throw it, looks deep and incomplete. That ball thrown behind Colin Dixon. So let's take a look at the Illini offensively.
Josh Kreutz did not play last week at center. He is back in there at center for the Illini. This offensive line did a lot better job protecting Luke Altmaier the last couple of weeks after giving up 7 sacks against Indiana. They've got to run the football well today.
Second and 10 at the 25. Valentine remains in the game, and they'll hand it to him. With good leg churn there. He'll pick up 6, maybe 7 on the play. Stopped by Sonny Styles. Defensively for the Bucks.
They've been the best defense in the country. Gus, you and I have been talking about this all week long. I think the thing that makes them most special, though, is the intelligence of 3 guys. It's Sonny Styles, it's Arvell Reese, and it's Caleb Downs. It allows them to do so many different things schematically for Matt Patricia, their defensive coordinator. Oh, it just so happens that they're also the most athletic players on the field. It's what makes them so difficult to attack.
Third down and 3 at the 32. Empty backfield. Altmaier underneath. Has his man. That's Clement. He'll pick up the first down. Gaining 6.
Nice combination over here on this left side. Couple of blocks up front. Igbenos in the corner. He got inside rather than staying outside. And Clement's able to pick up the first down before Styles can knock him out of bounds.
First down at the 38 now for Illinois. Altmaier, another quick strike to the far side. This time it's Beatty. Hank Beatty coming off a monster game last week against Purdue.
You know, there is an injury for Ohio State, not in this play, but coming into today, Lorenzo Styles, veteran safety, not in the lineup. So now it's going to be Jermaine Matthews, normally the starting corner, who's going to go into the nickel position in the slot, which means true freshman Devin Sanchez, number 6, is getting his first start out on the outside.
Second down and 3 at the 45. Altmaier handing it off, and Valentine goes down immediately. Kenyatta Jackson Jr., the senior from Miami, loss of 2.
And he was banged up last week. Didn't play in really the back 3 quarters of that game against Minnesota. But Kenyatta Jackson, they're just a different defense when he's on the field. His length and athleticism at that defensive end position is just so superior. He's 6'6", 265 pounds.
Third down and 5 at the 43. Can Illinois keep the chains moving? Altmaier underneath and intercepted. Ohio State. Pierce down at the Illinois 35. First interception of the season for Altmaier. That ball deflected by Jermaine Matthews Jr.
This is such a good lineup change for Ohio State because Jermaine Matthews is normally an outside corner, but Hank Beatty for Illinois, he's been one of the most productive receivers in the country over the last couple of games. He plays in the slot, in the middle. So taking an outside cover player and putting him on Beatty allows you to play him in man, and it pays off right away. The tip ball, Peyton Pierce is there for the interception, and this Ohio State defense comes up with a big play early in this game. That's Altmaier's first interception of the year.
So the Buckeyes take over at the Illinois 35. C.J. Donaldson in the backfield. Sayin gives it to him. And he'll get through the hole, pick up about 5.
it's pretty evident this defense for Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator of Illinois, they do not want to let these wide receivers get on top of them. So deep safety play, kind of a soft shell coverage there for Aaron Henry. Worried about Carnell Tate, worried about Jeremiah Smith. It means that the Buckeyes will be able to run the football here earlier in this game.
2nd down and 5 at the 30. Donaldson again, straight ahead, and smash mouth running for Ohio State. He'll gain 10.
You watch, you're going to get these guys exiting out here. Watch these linebackers. They get out of here. And so what does that allow you to do? Great push by the offensive line. Not enough numbers to defend the run. If Illinois keeps wanting to drop those guys deep, Ohio State's going to be perfectly fine handing the football off to their big back, C.J. Donaldson.
Under 6 to play in the first quarter. 1st down and 10 now at the 20 of Illinois for the national champions. Play fake. Saying rolls. Time. Sideline. Jeremiah Smith out of bounds at the 5. That's a gain of 13. Man, they look crisp on offense.
I'll tell you, every single week, come out here and you're like, all right, is Ohio State going to have a letdown? We saw the letdown from Penn State at UCLA. We saw Texas play poorly at Florida. And you think, like, where's the trap game for Ryan Day? And they come out here, Gus, in the first quarter on the road against a very good Illinois team that's playing great football. And it looks like they just have not missed a beat. So crisp on offense.
1st down at the 7. Saying, silent assassin, his high school coach calls him. And straight ahead, Peoples this time. And James Peoples, the sophomore from San Antonio, will gain 3. Bailey again defensively.
I'll tell you, Bailey has made a couple of really good tackles right in there when it looked like there was some running room, and Bailey has stepped up and stopped these backs. You know, you wonder, they did not go for it on 4th down on that first possession. I wonder right now here on 2nd down if Ryan Day is thinking to himself, listen, we want to punch it in. Is this 4-down territory for Ohio State inside the 5?
C.J. Donaldson returns. 2nd down and goal at the 4. Donaldson on the pitch. And he's short of the goal line. He'll gain 3, but it'll be placed inside the 1.
Is that Bailey again with a tackle? And does he get the ball across? No, forearm down, ball short. Great job by the official on the near side. And that was Matt Bailey again. A touchdown saving tackle as he was being blocked by Jeremiah Smith.
3rd down and goal inside the 1-yard line for the national champions. Out of the eye. 2nd man through. Touchdown. Ohio State.
Check out the left side of this offensive line right here. You've got Austin Sareveld, Luke Montgomery moving people at the goal line. Great push. And that's what allows Donaldson to go in almost untouched into the end zone, and a nice early lead for these Buckeyes on the road.
So Ohio State takes advantage of the Altmaier interception. Extra point is good for fielding. And with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Buckeyes get on the board. Defense, vicious. Offense, rhythmic. 7-0. World famous. Let me correct myself, folks. 10-0 Ohio State with 3:40 to go here in the first quarter. Play the Fox Super 6 College Football Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of $5,000 in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. C.J. Donaldson, 35th career rushing touchdown, 2nd most among active FBS players. Nick Singleton, Penn State, number 1. For Ohio State with a 10-0 lead on the road. Let's see how Illinois responds after turning it over. And they'll start from the goal line. Jordan Anderson. And he'll get up to the 20-yard line. And that's where the Fighting Illini will start. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Happy birthday, Brutus. In the CFP era, 5 teams have held their opponents to less than 7 points a game through the first 5 games of the season. 3 of those have gone on to win the national championship, and Ohio State can make it 4 of 5 this year. Matt Patricia, first-year defensive coordinator, former NFL head coach, 3-time Super Bowl champion as the defensive coordinator with Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. He's definitely made his mark on this defense from the 20. And here's the run. Lafferty with space, and it'll be taken down by Igbinosun, but he'll gain 15. Illinois needs a good drive here.
Yeah, they do. They need to possess the football here for some time, and they need to do that with these direct runs. You know, that's what they had success with against USC, is running right at the defense, get downhill, allow the backs to pick their lane, and try to move this defensive line off the ball.
First down at the 36. Play fake. Altmaier looking. Altmaier goes deep. Incomplete. Great coverage again by Igbinosun. Justin Bowick was the intended receiver. Fans wanted a flag.
I think the fans have a case here, because as Igbinosun is down the field, look, he grabs Bowick's jersey and doesn't allow him to come back for the football. Igbinosun has been one of the most penalized players in college football over the last 2 years. In fact, last year he had 16 flags. Luke Altmaier in the backfield, he wanted a flag, wondering where it's at. I think they've got a case there.
Second down and 10 at the 36. And a timeout called by the Fighting Illini.
During the break, Brett Bielema giving the officials a piece of his mind after that last play. Davison Igbinosun in coverage on Justin Bowick. Illinois felt like it should have been pass interference. I agree with that. But as it stands now, it's second and long as no flag came out. And now they'll be behind the chains, Gus.
After the 16 last year, he's been flagged just once this season. Second and 10 at the 36-yard line. Delayed handoff. Lafferty. And he's dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. He'll get to the line of scrimmage. No gain. Nicely done. Tywone Malone.
Tywone Malone has really come on the last few weeks. In fact, he's and Caden McDonald make up that defensive tackle core. They've been very good for Matt Patricia, and Matt Patricia will say those tackles are actually the key to the defense.
Tywone Malone, 309. Caden McDonald, 326. Third down and 10 at the 26. And incomplete. That one over the head of Hank Beatty. And the Illini will have to punt it away.
Well, he had him there. Beatty had a step, and he had a hole in that defense over there on the left side. Altmaier has got to find him there, and obviously some frustration starting to show here for Illinois. You can see Altmaier shaking his head. They wanted the flag, but then they were unable to rebound. Like I said, open Beatty, got to hit him there.
Keelan Crimmins will punt it away from the 21. And back deep, Brandon Ennis standing at the 20. Crimmins, Aussie punter. Played at Purdue and Mississippi State. And the ball fair caught at the 26-yard line. A 38-yard punt. Tomorrow, the ALCS begins on Fox as Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. And the Mariners look to steal Game 1 in Toronto against Red Hot Vlad Jr. and the Blue Jays. Game 1 of the ALCS coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on Fox. And I just have to say, I've got a tear in my beer.
Oh, buddy. That was a tough one last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Our director, Rich Dewey, is from Seattle. You're from Detroit. There might have been $1 on the line.
Yeah, I owe money. I definitely owe money. First down and 10 at the 27. Jeremiah Smith lines up in the Wildcat formation. No. They fire it out wide to Smith, who lined up in the backfield, and that's incomplete.
Miscommunication there between Sayin and Smith. That's a play that can either be a run on the interior or they can throw that little wide receiver screen out on the outside. I think Smith was expecting him to hand that football off based on the amount of defense that moved outside with him. Maybe Julian just didn't see it.
Second and 10 at the 27. Now James Peoples re-enters the game as the pistol back. Peoples makes the first man miss, and he has to fight to get across the line of scrimmage. Joe Barna brings him to the turf. He'll gain 1.
Well, these are the opportunities you got to take advantage of. And you can't allow Julian Sayin to just sit back and scan the field. When he's protected, he's just been surgical this year. And so who's the guy that's going to put pressure on the quarterback? It's got to be Gabe Akis, number 17. He's their best defender. He's their best pass rusher. He's got to show up right now and put some pressure on the quarterback.
Jeremiah Smith lines up as the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Sayin looks the other side and caught Carnell Tate. That's a gain of 11 on 3rd and 9.
Did he get that foot down? Control, oh yeah, 2 feet. That's an NFL catch right there for a guy that'll be playing on Sundays. I'll tell you what, this guy, he had a breakout game last week. Gus, here's the thing. We talk about Jeremiah Smith, and rightly so. Number 17, that's also a first-round player out there. He is so good on the other side of Smith.
First-round player, first-round person. First down and 10 at the 39. Over the middle, and they hit the tight end, Max Clare.
There's a look at our reliable performer, sponsored by AT&T Business. Reliability that you can count on. And Gus, you said it, not only as a player but as a person. It's Carnell Tate. 6 catches of 40 yards or more. That's tied for most in college football. Breakout game last week against Minnesota. And he's a guy that could take this thing by storm.
Was covered in formation, went down and caught the pass. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Includes a loss of down. Second down.
Yeah, there was a late flag on the formation there on the last play. And they said Max Clare, the tight end, number 86, was covered up. That means there was a wide receiver that was on the line of scrimmage rather than off the line of scrimmage. And you can see, yeah, you can see right here, Jeremiah Smith is on the line of scrimmage and Clare is on the line of scrimmage. So that tight end cannot go out and catch a ball. It's exactly what happened.
First down and 15. At the 34. Bo Jackson, the freshman. They give it to him. Jackson picking his way forward, and he'll pick up 11.
Here you go, right here, Q5.
Tell you what, this Ohio State offensive line, you can see them improving day in and day out.
And there have been continuity. All 5 of these starters have started all 5 games. I wonder if they'll even get a snap. I don't think they're going to snap it here to the end of the quarter. But, Gus, you're exactly right. It's not just what they're doing protecting the quarterback, but it's also their ability to run the football. Those guys up front have been outstanding.
All right, end of the first quarter. Buckeyes on top of the Fighting Illini, 10-0. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business. Connecting changes everything. Welcome back to Champaign on a beautiful day. 10-0. Ohio State, the national champions. As we start the second quarter. Third down and 4 at the 45 for the Buckeyes. C.J. Donaldson, the power back. He's 6'2", 232. Sayin lofts it up, sideline, Jeremiah, and he's got it at the 22-yard line. Beautiful throw. 33 yards, first down, Buckeyes.
I'll tell you what, you're going to line up man-to-man coverage. This is difficult to do. He beats him off the line of scrimmage. The ball's a little underthrown. Does he keep that in possession all the way through? Looks like it was coming loose, but look, and this guy is just so good. It doesn't matter, single coverage, double coverage. They are going to take a look at this because you could see that ball was starting to come loose as he was going down.
That ruling is under further review.
Remember, he's got to control that through the process of going to the ground, and as you can see, that ball was starting to come loose over the right shoulder. With the contact from the safety, there's Gies Clark. He goes up. There's Miles Scott, number 10, and then he's got to survive the ground, and that's where I felt like the ball came loose and he lost a little control there.
We're joined by our rules analyst, Mikey Rulebooks, Mike Pereira. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, it's really an interesting one, Gus, because yes, he goes to the ground and the ball does move, all right? It does move. Did he lose total possession, or did he lose the total possession when the defender knocked it out after he rolled over? You know, you look at it and say ruled on the field catch. Is there enough to turn it over? I'm really not sure at this point. Watch here. Yes, the ball's going to move, but it doesn't get stripped away really till there. Very close call. I'd love to see him stay with this.
So you say no catch, Joel?
I'd say whatever you say.
Come on.
You've been the expert this
Come
year.
on.
You have.
I know. I wanted Gus to go first.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm going to say it's a catch. And Illinois is saying it's not a catch.
Well, if you say it's a catch, I say it's a catch.
Get out of here, man. You're not making it fun. By the way, folks, I'm up 2-0.
That's right.
This season.
That's right. I've lost $2.
Jeremiah Smith, what a great route, great catch. They always brag about his route running ability, but what I'm seeing, partner, Julian Sand throws a soft, almost like Joe Montana ball.
Yeah, he's hyper accurate. You know, and this is a guy that gets better every single week. Now that ball was just a touch underthrown, which is what allowed Gies Clark to get back in phase, it's called, and get up there and knock that ball away. And it does look like by the reaction, the officials are starting to run back the other direction. I think this one might go the other way. I'm going to say no catch, Gus.
I owe you $1, brother. But Illinois, they will take it.
After reviewing the play, number 4 did not maintain control through the process of the catch. Therefore, by rule, it is an incomplete pass. The ball will return to the previous spot where it will be 4th down.
So close. You know, if he would have had his hands on it, but it was kind of secure in his forearms and slips away. So close. Good coverage there from Gies Clark.
And that wipes out a 33-yard gain. So Joe McGuire, the junior from Melbourne, Australia as well, in the punt from the 30. Hank Beatty back deep at the 10. McGuire, end over end. Fair caught at the 16. A 38-yard punt.
The Pacific Life Game Summary is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Well, the first quarter has been all Buckeyes. Julian Sand, 6 of 10 for 66 yards. They've run the football well for 59. That's the most they've had in the first quarter all season. And Luke Altmaier, his first interception of the year. He's only 2 of 6 for 13 yards. We'll see if Illinois can get something going on this offensive possession. It is tough sledding against what has become the most dominant defense in the sport.
First down at the 16. Caden Fagan checks in. Fagan has been nursing an upper body injury and almost another pick. Colin Dixon, Sargent, Igmanosin defensively, and there's a flag on the play. Tim O'Day, your referee today.
Pass interference, defense number 26. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Peyton Pierce.
Correction, foul was on number 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Peyton Pierce is even in the game.
Okay, it's Igbinosun.
Yeah, Igbinosun arrived just a little early, going through the back of the wide receiver right here. They're trying to run the run-pass option, the RPO, and there's that right hand right in front of the official, turning the wide receiver as Colin Dixon tried to get there. And Altmaier, he wanted the flag earlier on Igbinosun, but they got this one.
Igbinosun improved because he practiced this year while wearing oven mitts so that he isn't tempted to try and grab receivers. Didn't work for him right there. First down and 10 of the 26. Altmaier near side. Beatty turns it up with space. And he'll gain 8 yards on first down. Arvell Reese with the tackle.
Well, this Illinois team has got a couple of things at their disposal. One, they've got to run the football. I've been saying that the entire first quarter. They got to get downhill at this Ohio State defense. Then it becomes about Luke Altmaier diagnosing the coverage and putting the ball in the right spot when they want to throw those bubble screens on the outside. The run pass option over the middle, which we've seen a couple of times. That's really the recipe for them to move forward.
Second down and 2 at the 34. Fagan remains in the game. He's a big running back. 255 first down. Now this is what Coach Bielema told us in our meeting with him yesterday. Remember, Joel, he said he watched the Patriots versus the Giants in the Super Bowls, and he realized he needed to spread out this Bill Belichick defense and go a little fast.
That's right, and try to unlock some of the safety disguises with backfield motion, use a little bit of tempo, but then still run downhill at that defensive line, which they're starting to do a little bit.
First down and 10 at the 39. Play fake. Altmaier sets up all day to throw. Checks it to the far side. He's got Beatty, and Beatty, nice yards after the catch, gains 8 on first down. Tackled by Devin Sanchez.
Yeah, great job by Altmaier. Watch, he's going to start all the way on his left and work the entire field. Here he goes. He's left, and now he's going to get all the way back over to the right side to his outlet, Hank Beatty, who makes a nice move, but got hit hard as Tywone Malone started coming from the interior of that defense. There's his eyes. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, and now 4. There's the outlet, and he's got time to do it. The offensive line doing a nice job in front.
Last week against Purdue, Beatty, 5 catches, 186 yards, and a touchdown. Second down and 2 at the 47. Altmaier over the middle and broken up. He had his target, Hudson Clement, but Igbinosun, Johnny on the spot again.
This is difficult to do. He's reading the run on the left side, but then he's got to come back and throw the ball on the right side. And that one was on the money in a shoebox. The problem is that the coverage is so tight from these defensive backs, and it's got Luke Altmaier a bit frustrated in the backfield.
A lot of tipped balls already. 3rd and 2 at the 47. And they'll run it and will not get it. Jordan Anderson this time. And he's stopped by Sonny Styles.
Oh, man, do you go for this right here? I think that you do.
Gotta.
Don't you?
Yes.
You know, there's a time to be aggressive, and this is it. Down 10, second quarter, and they put the big back in, so number 3 checks back in. Gus Caden Fagan, you already mentioned, he's 6'3", 255 in the backfield.
Remember, Luke Altmaier, he's like a point guard. As a quarterback, he's got great wheels.
And watch for the hard clap, too, to try to draw him offside.
4th down and 2 at the 47. They'll hand it off, looking for that first, and they should get it with Fagan. Looks like Fagan got pushed forward by a Buckeye.
I was going to say, the last Buckeye in there, I think, was Caleb Downs. Watch number 2. He comes in from the right side. It looks like Fagan is short, but then Downs jumps on the back of him and moves him forward a half yard. I think it's what's allowed him to get the line to gain, falling forward, and the Illini will stay on the field and move the chains.
First down and 10 at the 49. 10:43 to play in the second quarter. Khalil Valentine checks back in. Altmaier, here's the reverse. Altmaier trying to throw it, and it didn't fool anyone. Pressured by Caden Curry, the senior from Indiana.
Look at the discipline of this defense. Watch these guys back there. Watch, you got safety back here, and they're all just going to take off into their zones, eyes in the backfield. Doesn't fool anybody. And I think that comes from the confidence they have in the defensive line. That second and third level of this defense, they know that those guys up front can control things, so they don't have to commit to those little trick plays too early.
2nd down and 10 at the 49-yard line. And Fagan running. He'll get outside. Nice stiff arm dragged down from behind by Caleb Downs. And it's a gain of 3.
I will say this, we haven't talked a lot about this defense yet, but they give you so many different looks. And right now they're going to run onto the field what I would call their dime package. What does that mean? Well, they're going to take defensive tackles off the field, and they're going to put a 6th DB on the field. And this is a package that they use with 2 defensive ends, try to get more speed on the field. You've got Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry as your outside defensive ends.
3rd down and 7 at the 48. Trips at the top of your screen. Altmaier in trouble. Reverses. Sideline caught and 1st down. Cole Rusk found a soft spot, and he'll pick up 10 on 3rd and 7.
I'll tell you what, Caden Fagan did a great job picking up that blitz and allowed Altmaier to get out to the left side. But look, he stepped out.
The receiver was forced out of bounds, came back on his own, legally caught the ball, 1st down.
Igbinosun pushes him out. He can reestablish. Rusk steps right back in. He's a transfer from Murray State, was here last year but didn't play because of a knee injury. That's a big catch right there on a 3rd down.
6'5", 250. From Rock Island, Illinois. 1st down. Best drive of the day so far for the Fighting Illini.
Play will look to see if the receiver was inbound at the time of the catch.
The one thing I was just going to say is, yes, you can be the first to touch it after being forced out, but Gus, you've got to get yourself completely back inbounds and reestablish. You just wonder how quickly he was able to get back in. See that last step, his right foot was actually on the sideline and hadn't firmly gotten himself totally back in. You see that right foot? That's going to be very close. Very close.
Ruling on the field is a catch. And I can't tell from that angle, partner, if that foot was out of bounds.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. He clearly gets pushed out, but then he's got to reestablish. That's a tough call. Gus, what do you say?
I say it's a tough one to overrule. Mike Pereira, what do you think?
Well, we were looking at this really closely. The key is the left toe on the ground with the right foot now off the ground that was out of bounds. So as long as that toe's on the ground, that counts as reestablishing. So it's reestablishing with the body part. And I think, again, the fact that it was ruled a catch. And again, look at the out of bounds thing. He was forced out of bounds. So then he can come back in and reestablish. I don't think they can change this.
After reviewing the play, the receiver's right foot was out of bounds when he jumped to catch the ball. By rule, that makes it an incomplete pass. The ball's returned to the previous spot where it will be 4th down.
There you go. These officials doing a great job here today, early on. Tim O'Day, your referee. That makes it 4th down and 7, so the Fighting Illini will have to punt it away. Crimmins from the 37. Innes standing inside his own 10. Low snap handled.
Oh, he had his knee down. Wow. Oh, my goodness. He caught that snap with his knee down,
the
Gus.
Received the snap with the knee on the ground. Ball becomes dead. Timeout on the field.
Oh, my goodness. That's like a turnover. Knee down, ball in his hands. 1st down, Buckeyes.
Self-inflicted wounds. Buckeyes will take over after this. Are you fan enough? Sponsored by Dr. Pepper. It's a pepper thing. And welcome back to Champaign. Second time Ohio State has started inside the Illinois 40-yard line. First down and 10 at the 38. Play fake. Saying he'll take a shot. Sideline. Caught. Claire. And a first down. Let's go back to Mike Pereira.
Yeah, hey, Gus, let's take a look at that sideline catch again that we had in that last drive and the notion of reestablishing back in bounds. Just in talking about this, here's their philosophy on this. When it comes to reestablishing and you're jumping from out of bounds, what toe is on the ground first as opposed to the one that was still on the ground behind, they're not going to differentiate that. So if you're jumping from out of bounds to inbound, you have to clearly establish with the foot completely out of inbounds before you actually have a catch.
All right, thank you, Mike. Saying again now to throw it. Saying guns it underneath, caught, and a first down for Carnell Tate.
Gus, this is what I love about watching these wide receivers and Carnell Tate. You see him come back to that ball, work back to the quarterback. That's detail. You know, it's not just the talent and athleticism that makes you a great wide receiver. It's the attention to detail, and that was evidence on that last play.
First down and 10 at the Illinois 17. Handing it off, Jackson. Not a lot. As James Thompson Jr. wraps him up. A gain of 4.
Yeah, James Thompson has played really well for Illinois. He transferred in from Wisconsin, and he's really solidified the middle of that defensive line. He's 6'6", 310 pounds, a huge body in there from Cincinnati, Ohio. That was a nice stop on first down.
Second and 6 at the 13. Jackson, single setback. Tate in motion, lines up in the slot. Play fake, Saying rolls, takes his time, and he'll just walk it out of bounds. Got a little shove at the end by Joe Barnum. No gain.
I'd say that was, got to pitch a tent on that one because there was all sorts of guys falling over. Watch, Tate's going to hit the tight end. They fall over. You got a tight end out in the backfield. He falls over back there, and Saying's like, well, hell, if no one's going to stay on their feet, I'll just run for it, boys.
So that brings up third down and 6 at the 13-yard line for Ohio State. Ohio State, 18 plays in their opponent's territory. Saying delivers, incomplete. Carnell Tate the target. That one thrown a little wide. Torrey Cox Jr. in coverage.
That one looks like a little miscommunication as well. It looked like Saying was expecting Carnell Tate to go to that back shoulder fade, and he threw it back to the pylon. They're having a discussion right now over on the sideline. Look, saying, hey, listen, I need you to fall out of that route. Carnell did not, and they're going to have to settle for a field goal.
So fielding good from 26 yards. This one from 31 yards away. And it's good. 13-0. Ohio State on top of Illinois. 6:43 to play in the second. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Discover. It pays to discover. 100 years ago, 2 junior honorary societies at Illinois and Ohio State decided to commemorate their rivalry with a trophy. So they came up with Illabok, a turtle that would change hands between the schools. And that trophy was originally an actual living turtle until it passed away. And the current wooden version was carved and awarded in its place, the Illabok.
Sorry, I'm laughing. But they chose a turtle because they lived for so long. They thought that'll be around forever. Next year it died. Oh, man.
Well, there it is. Nice looking trophy. 13-0. Ohio State Ohio State defense continuing to dominate. 6:43 to go in the second. Let's see how the Illini respond right after this. A huge day of college football continues next with TCU versus K-State. And under the lights at 7:30, Kansas takes on 9th-ranked Texas Tech right here at Fox.
We got to see that Tech team. Watch out for Tech.
Watch out.
That is a good football team.
Especially their front four on defense. Woo. They've got some dudes. 1st and 10 at the 25. 6:43 to play, second quarter. Valentine, the pistol back. Altmaier. Altmaier hands it off to Valentine. Across the line of scrimmage and gain a yard. Jalen McClain, the safety defensively.
Oh gosh, they're going to give the Ohio State the ball. The ball came out late. Caden McDonald came out of the pile. VAR official came in pointing their direction.
Ruling up the field is the fumble recovery defense. First down.
Valentine was shaken up on the play. You can see as he's trying to, oh look, his leg collapses right there. Oh my goodness, that's just terrible to see. And so he doesn't have a body part down as McDonald was pulling on that football. And they're going to carry Khalil Valentine off, who ran the ball so well last week against Purdue. They've been struggling at health at the running back position. Caden Fagan came in with a shoulder banged up today. He's gotten some time. Aiden Lawfrey is finally healthy and back in the lineup. But there, McDonald, you can tell as he was ripping at that football, he fell on the leg of Valentine, and now Ohio State, another short field offensively.
McDonald, 326.
For the review.
They're going to see just if he had any body part down when that ball was starting to come loose. So here's McDonald. I mean, it's tough. I mean, you feel for Khalil Valentine in that position. I mean, what a terrible position to be in. But I didn't see any body part down.
Good to see him at least walking on the sideline after being carried off.
It's great news that he is walking, because that did not look good. And as you mentioned, partner, it's not like that's just a defensive back. I mean, Caden McDonald is a big human being.
Yes.
326, as you said. Valentine will head into the tent as they take another look at this.
Valentine, 200 pounds.
You know, it was so late. I thought that maybe progress would have been ruled stopped, but that was not ruled on the field.
After reviewing the play, the ruling of fumble recovery defense is upheld. First down, Ohio State.
So Ohio State forces the turnover.
Oh my goodness. And just think about these massive plays that have gone against Illinois. That first down that then comes back because Rusk didn't reestablish. Then all of a sudden the punter, his knee is down, which, by the way, I feel like they should change that rule in college football. And obviously in the NFL, your knee can be down because you are not touched. Well, in college, they should afford the punter the opportunity to go down to a knee and then still get the ball off. That's just a personal opinion of mine. But then now another turnover and a short field for this offense.
So from the 26-yard line now for Ohio State, first down. Jackson on the toss. And Jackson wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Nicely done. Rosiak, no gain. Let's check in with Jenny.
Well, no, you guys witnessed as well that moment between Julian Sayin and Carnell Tate, discussing a little bit of that miscommunication when they were leaving the field. Well, those conversations continued on the sideline, but in a really positive way. And Coach Day pulled me aside before the game. We talked a little bit about Julian, and he said he's starting to find his voice, his confidence. I have to say, guys, I talked to Julian before Texas. I talked to him this week. A totally different player in terms of his confidence in leading this group.
All right, Jenny, 2nd and 10 of the 26. Jackson. James Thompson with the stop, a gain of 4.
This Illinois defense is held up fairly well against the run, and what that allows you to do is get to these 3rd downs with an opportunity to get off the field and force Ohio State into another field goal opportunity. And that situation has come up again. Again, you've got to try to find a way to get pressure on Julian Sain, but you can't do that with man coverage on the outside. You know, it looks like right now they are showing man, which means Jeremiah Smith would be in a one-on-one at the top of your screen.
3rd down and 6 at the 22. Sain looks that way. And caught for 1st down by Jeremiah Smith.
It's too difficult of an assignment because of the way that he gets off the ball and threatens you down the field, and it just allows him to drop out of that route. Slaps him by, and Juice Clark gives up the space. He knows where he's at, 2 feet in bounds, and Jeremiah Smith moves the chains.
Smith so far 3 catches, 38 yards. Sain 9 of 14, 94 yards. 1st down at the Illinois 15. Ennis in motion. Peoples has to fight, and he'll be tackled for a loss by Matthew Bailey. Tell you what, this man has been playing some great football this season. A loss
he
of
really
2.
Has. You're exactly right. And also in there was Gabe Akis, which slowed down that play and allowed Bailey to get in there, Gus, like you said, and make the play. He's made several plays right there near the line of scrimmage from that safety position, in particular in the red zone as you play closer down towards the line.
He's 6'2", 215 from Moline. 2nd and 12 at the 17.
Short timeout, Ohio State, their 1st of the half.
And a timeout called by Ohio State. Buckeyes on top of the Fighting Illini, 13-0. Under 4 minutes to play here in the 2nd quarter from Champaign.
You know, if there's
hopefully Valentine is okay. Went off the field, had to be carried off the field, but then he started walking on his own, now on the bike.
And watching the film, which is more important because you know now he's like, all right, I'm back in this thing and hopefully back on the field on the next series.
2nd and 12 at the 17-yard line. Sain with time, ball deflected or swung out rather to Jackson. He dives. And a touchdown.
It ended up being almost a screen on the outside. He's going through his progression, but because it took so long, look, he had a lead blocker in there. That's Max Clare. And as long as he stayed in, oh yeah, in the air, ball over the pylon, and Bo is in the end zone. Great job by Julian Sain, just surveying the field, getting all the way over to his last man in the progression. And like I said, it almost acted like a screen because the tight end was out in front as a lead blocker.
A 17-yard touchdown grab by Bo Jackson. Ohio State takes a 19-0 lead as Fielding comes in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. 5 plays covering 26 yards. They scored 2 minutes and 50 seconds. 20-0. National champions.
(20-0) Ohio State over Illinois. Bo Jackson into the end zone as Ohio State is able to capitalize on some miscues from Illinois. A turnover there gave them a short field, and the Buckeyes have had a heck of a first half.
Ohio State with 14 points off 2 Illinois turnovers. And they'll send it away and out of the end zone for a touchback. Now it's time for the Aflac trivia question. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover with Aflac. Ohio State true freshman running back Bo Jackson is making a big impact early for the Buckeyes. So for today's Aflac trivia question, who holds the Ohio State freshman record for most rushing yards in a season?
Oh,
That's something we should know.
I feel like it. I've got two in my head.
Eddie George? No.
No, I think it's one of the, J.K.
Dobbins, yeah.
And then also Travion was great. Travion ran for over 1,000 yards as a true freshman, I believe.
Okay, so maybe we'll get one right this week. 1st and 10 of the 25. And a flag on the play.
False start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So hold on. Who do you pick? Come on.
Travion.
Okay, I'm going to go with J.K. All right, who holds the Ohio State freshman? J.K. all day, baby.
I still, every time I see an Ohio State fan, and they bring up one of two things. They're like, hey, tell Gus I got barbecue back there. Or they say, J.K. all day.
I tell you, they gave us barbecue. I can't even eat barbecue anymore. First down at 15.
Wait, what?
No. This 58, bro. It doesn't work out that well. Over the middle, and it's caught. Clement. And Hudson Clement picks up 17. His knee was down.
Good throw there from Luke Altmaier. Best of the day.
2 timeouts remaining for Illinois. Altmaier again over the middle, and again he completes it to Hudson Clement. Clement came in with 13 catches on the season. Now the Fighting Illini moving the football.
Yeah, and this is how you have to attack this defense. You get them into more base structures. Also, Luke Altmaier, this is how he wants to play, with tempo.
First down at the 48. Altmaier again on near side. Colin Dixon turns it up. He'll gain 7.5, maybe 8.
You know, this is the type of quarterback. He's so experienced that at times as a quarterback, you go over and you're like, all right, give me the ball. Not in let me run it, but let me go out there and be a point guard. Give me the game, and that's what it feels like right now.
2nd down and 2. Here's the run with Fagan. First down, Illinois. As they get to the 30, a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, and Fagan is reaching for that shoulder again, and he's going to come out. I told you he was banged up a little bit with that shoulder. He goes down to the turf on that side, and he's got to ask out. But this is a huge sequence here. Obviously, 20-0 hole. You got to come back. But they did defer after winning the toss, so they do have the first possession to start the second half. So a chance here to get a couple of possessions where they can try to get some points on the board.
First down and 10 at the 31. Altmaier over the middle, checks it down to Jordan Anderson. A 6-yard gain, and that takes us to the 2-minute timeout. 20-0 Ohio State, but Illinois finally moving the football. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Please drink responsibly. And by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
Welcome back to a beautiful day in Champaign. Buckeyes now outscoring the opposition 207-25. Rob Stone here with you, coming up on the State Farm at halftime. Alabama tries to bump Mizzou from the ranks of the unbeaten. Number 4, Ole Miss looks to go 6-0, and number 25, Florida State, guys, having some issues at home with Pitt. We'll see you at the break.
All right, thank you, Stoner. 2nd down and 4 at the 25 for Illinois. Altmaier and the Illini really moving the ball efficiently on this drive. Altmaier over the middle, caught. Should be a first down. Hudson Clement again. And it is a first down.
Yeah, I just love this series because this is just a Luke Altmaier series. Letting him be the point guard. It's a lot easier as a quarterback to find this rhythm when you're in a 2-minute style tempo like they are on this drive, and he's been terrific.
First down at the 20. Altmaier, near side throw. Clement. And he'll get to the 16. A gain of 4. Reese with the tackle. This is what they were talking about in the meeting yesterday. Spreading them out and going quick.
That's right, and they're not substituting. So those 11 for Ohio State have to stay on the field. They can't call those blitzes. They can't get fresh pass rushers on the field.
Second down. The fade in the corner. Caught. Bowick. A flag on the play. If it stands, it's a touchdown.
Pass interference. Defense number 6. Play is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Touchdown, Illinois. Man, they marched it up and down. And Bowick runs a great route and makes a terrific catch.
He's their red zone target. There you see the tug of the jersey. The only thing is that nothing actually hit in bounds. I'm sure this will be reviewed for the touchdown perspective. The penalty will stand, though. I think this is going to come back from a touchdown. There's the grab of the jersey, and the young corner, Sanchez, Devin Sanchez, gets called for it. Bowick is really a big guy, 6'4", 210, and he's really good in the air. There was a flag on the other side as well for P.I. Igbinosun. There's a flag. There was a flag on Sanchez, both sides. That's Bowick's, if it stands, 5th touchdown. But like I said, partner, nothing came down in bounds. So I could see this coming back as it relates to a touchdown. But then obviously the penalty would be enforced and it would be an automatic first down for Illinois.
Bowick from Powder Springs, Georgia, Ball State transfer. Devin Sanchez all over him.
He has been their red zone guy. You know, not a lot of catches in the middle of the field.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not come down in bounds. Therefore, the pass was incomplete. However, the pass interference on defense number 6 will now be enforced. It will be placed at the 2-yard line with an automatic first down. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute and 24 seconds. 1:24, please. Thank you.
Devin Sanchez is a really long, good-looking young corner. He's 6'2", 198, but having to start today because Lorenzo Styles is out for the defense. And now Illinois will do something that no one's been able to do really in a couple of years, which is punch the ball in from inside the 5 against this Ohio State defense.
Remember, think about this. 4 weeks ago, today, Ohio State gave up its last touchdown to Ohio. First down and goal at the 2. Fagan, the deep Mac, in the eye with the tender shoulder. Play fake. Altmaier scrambles, turns it up. Oh, what a tackle. Caden Curry is 260. And he tracked down Luke Altmaier in space. A loss of 2.
What an incredible effort by Caden Curry there. It looked like Luke Altmaier was going to get the edge, and then Curry is able to get outside and just trip him up. You know, you talk with opposing offensive coaches, and they will constantly say, listen, it might be easier to score on Ohio State from outside the 20 than inside the 20. Their red zone defense has been incredible. They are #1 in the country. They have not given up a touchdown in any red zone possession yet this season. You go back to last year, they were incredible in the red zone in several goal-to-go situations. Texas, obviously, famously in that national semifinal. Penn State had first and goal. Nebraska had a 4th down inside the 5. And this is a defense that just is so difficult.
What's the difference? What has this man, their defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, done to make them look? They actually look better this year than they did last year.
Yeah, I think it's multiple. You know, now they were great inside the 5 last year as well, but they're more multiple in terms of the fronts that they run. So they cause the offensive line fits in terms of recognition, and they also disguise in the back end, similar to what an NFL team would do.
Let's see if Illinois can punch it in. 2nd and goal from the 4. 2 timeouts. 118. Altmaier pulls it out underneath, and they stop him again. Lawfery just body slammed by Tywone Malone Jr.
Tywone Malone looks like a ballerina here. Watch, he's going to turn himself all the way around, spin, and just grab him and say, no, you come here. And he stops him at the 1 yard line. Look, Malone's looking way outside, and then Lawfery falls in his lap. He spins him down to the ground. Altmaier was in the background with his hands in the air. He thought they had a touchdown. Gus, it's remarkable how well they play defense inside the 5 yard line. It's crazy.
And this dates back to last year.
Yes.
Jim Knowles was the defensive coordinator, who's now at Penn State. 3rd down and goal at the 1.
And you wonder, with all of that success that they've had, is it 4 down territory? You know, would you just take the points knowing that they're going to get the ball? Illinois, of course, after halftime.
You got to go for it, I would say.
I would think, and to be honest with you, I don't think you can run at the interior of that defense. Look at all those guys. Those are all 300-pounders standing with their heels on the goal line.
Altmaier facing a 3rd down and goal at the 1. Jordan Anderson checks in at running back. And some movement on the right side of the Illinois offensive line. Wow. A false start coming up.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. Down.
It's Christian Abney, the far side tight end. And Altmaier's not even giving a cadence. And you can see some frustration. That's Melvin Priestley, number 58, giving Abney the business there as Kenyatta Jackson says move him back 5, and now it becomes even more difficult. I think this has got to be a throwdown now. You can't run the football from the 6 yard line at this defensive front.
Altmaier 7 for 7 on this drive. They've gotten so close. 3rd down and goal at the 6.
I think you might want to run the quarterback on the edge, try to get him in some sort of zone read with a lead blocker in front of him.
Lawfery checks in. Altmaier in the corner, back shoulder, incomplete. Igbinosun defensively. No flag. And that brings up 4th and goal.
That ball needed to be thrown higher from Luke Altmaier. You see Igbinosun never turns around, gets away with some contact, but the ball is so low. That's got to go up high.
He didn't play the ball. Should that be a penalty?
Well, only if there's contact through the man that's forceful enough to keep him from making a play on the ball. And they deemed that contact, even though it was there, was not inhibiting the wide receiver's ability to get back from the ball. It's questionable. That's a close call.
So they will attempt a field goal from 24 yards away. David Olano and the Fighting Illini finally on the board. 20-3. 1:05 to go in the second. Illinois settling for the 3. 20-3.
And Gus, that sequence, here's why that false start was so huge. It forced them to throw the football, but because it's incomplete, now there's 1:05 left for Ohio State. And now they get the ball with a chance to try to go down and get some points right here. So Brett Bielema obviously frustrated with the no call on the pass interference, or no pass interference, but also time left for Ohio State.
So 1:05 remaining here in the second quarter. Tomorrow on Fox, Dak and the Cowboys take on the Panthers, or Matthew Stafford and the Rams battle the Ravens, or other regional action. Check local listings for the game in your area tomorrow on Fox. Man, what a sequence that was.
And again, no touchdowns inside the 5. It's just stunning how good they've been in their red zone, and in particular what I would consider the low red zone inside the 5, and now 178 minutes of game time back to that Ohio game without giving up a touchdown.
First down to the 25. Sayin looks backside, sets up a screen with Jeremiah Smith, and he's gains a couple of yards. The drop quickly. Ohio State out of timeouts, as you mentioned. 2nd down and 8, not in a rush with the lead. Sayin, sideline throw caught by Max Clare, gain of 4.
Their kicker, Jaden Fielding, he's attempted from over 50 yards, but has yet to make a kick from over 50 yards in his career, which means you really need to get this ball to feel decent about it almost all the way to the other 30-yard line.
Attempted a 53-yarder last week. He had enough leg, but he was wide left, kind of hooked it. Good from 26 and 31 today. 3rd and 4. Sayin looking over the middle and knocked down. Great defense this time by guess who? Matthew Bailey.
What a half he's had.
So now Ohio State will punt. Illinois with 2 timeouts left, and they've got a red-hot kicker.
Great job by Bailey, staying close to Claire and then not contacting him as he goes up and over the top to bat that ball away.
David Alano last week against Purdue was 5 for 5. Remember, he kicked the game winner against USC a couple of weeks ago right here. Joe McGuire needs a good punt from his 16. And Hank Beatty is the deep man. He was an honorable mention All-America a year ago, Beatty, as a punt returner.
Delay game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So they'll back it up 5 more yards. Illinois with a chance to maybe get some good field position.
Yeah, and maybe do you come after this one? Do you come after your best punt block right here, or do you allow Beatty to try to give you good field position? Now that you backed him up 5, Beatty's going to have an opportunity to get this ball to about the 40-45-yard line with a good return.
Talked to Alano yesterday. He said in ideal conditions, he thinks he can hit one from 65. They send it away. Far side. And it goes out of bounds inside the 35. And that is a 34-yard punt. And there's David Alano.
Now, Gus, down on the field before the game, watching the kickers go through their pregame warm-ups. The opposite direction is where they were hitting all the long field goals. The wind is traveling what little wind there is from left to right. So the kickers, from a range standpoint, going the direction Illinois went, they were about 5 to 7 yards shorter than going left to right. So I think that Illinois needs to get this ball to about the 35-yard line to feel good about the range of their kicker.
And remember how the Fighting Illini moved the football on their last drive through the air. 1st and 10 at the 40. 2 timeouts left. Altmaier all day to throw. Checks it down to Anderson, and he'll just walk out of bounds around the line of scrimmage. A gain of 2.
What's nice is those 2 timeouts in the pocket, so Luke Altmaier can work across the middle of the field, even short of the 1st down marker, and they can still stop the clock.
Where do they need to go to get in field goal range for Alano?
Yeah, I think this direction, it's probably about the 35-yard line, 36-yard line.
So they need about 25, 30 yards. 2nd and 8 at the 42. Altmaier looking. Altmaier fires. Oh, incomplete. Hudson Clement had his hands on it. Just couldn't haul it in.
He got all sorts of time in the pocket, and this one is just out of the reach of Clement. Ran a beautiful route. He's behind the defense, and boy, you'd love to see him come down with that one. And Altmaier again shaking his head in the backfield. Just not his best day so far.
3rd down and 8 at the 42. Big play here for Illinois. Trips at the bottom of your screen. Here comes the pressure. And Ohio State gets to him. Kenyatta Jackson. Arvell Reese. A loss of 8.
And they'll just let it run down and go to half. I tell you, Arvell Reese came like a bullet off of that left side of the defense, right through the tackle for the sack. This guy, whoo. Gus, watch your guy, Arvell Reese, right through the tackle, just shoves him into the lap of Luke Altmaier, and it's...
As the Buckeyes send it off, into the end zone for a touchback. Let's go downstairs to JT.
Well, Gus, as you know, we've covered a lot of Ohio State football over the years, and I asked Coach Day specifically about that red zone defense. You know what word he used to describe them? Unbelievable. I feel like that's a pretty good word coming from Coach Day. Obviously loved the way they ended that half. He said he still wants to see that defense continue to make them work the entire field offensively. They got to capitalize on the red zone. Now, Coach Bielema was frustrated with the refs coming back out here. Didn't want to give me specifics, but he said those mistakes, obviously they're hurting us. You just can't make anything happen when you're making mistakes. Luke Altmaier needs to be better. We will be better in the second half.
All right, first down and 10. And Altmaier handing it off to Lawfery. And Sonny Styles there for the tackle, gain of 2.
This was going into the half, and that's the far side official. It's Nicole Randolph, and he was upset at some of those non-pass interference calls, in particular down in that red zone stop, and he was highly frustrated walking in at halftime.
Second down and 8 at the 27. Altmaier out of the shotgun. Altmaier over the middle, and a nice ball. Nice catch, Hank Beatty again. So there's some room. He gains 13. First down, Illinois.
If you're going to throw the ball on this defense, one, you got to protect. And the offensive line has done a decent job of that today. Not perfect, but decent. And then you got to attack the seams of the defense.
They get there quickly. First and 10 at the 40. Lawfery down the sideline, out of bounds at the Ohio State 40. Jalen McClain ushers him out of bounds after a 23-yard carry.
I love that formation. They had all the wide receivers over to the top side of the screen. No defender. All the defense went over that direction, and Ohio State was outmanned.
First down from the 37. Altmaier fires deep. Altmaier sideline, no. Igbinosun in coverage on Colin Dixon. I just love how physical Igbinosun is. He's 6'2", 195.
Yeah, long corner. Comes back for his senior year, and he's always going to have hands on the wide receiver. And you can see they're looking back. Colin Dixon wants a flag right there. But you know, you go against number 1, he is going to be physical. He is not going to allow you to just run down the field. And again, shaking of the heads, and they're getting the boos out here from the crowd.
And if you hold every play, they can't call it every play. Second and 10 at the 37.
Good strategy.
Here's Altmaier under pressure and just throws it away. Nobody near the football. Kenyatta Jackson with pressure.
Look at this defense adjust. Watch all these defenders. They're trying to flood the zone over this way with all of the motion and then the wheel out of the backfield, but the defense was on them. It was man coverage. Again, Matt Patricia switching things up. Call them, they think they're going to be in that zone, and then Altmaier ultimately takes a hit from Kenyatta Jackson.
It's just scary with Coach Patricia doing what he's doing with the defense, and it's just his first year. Can you imagine in the next couple of years? 3rd and 10. Altmaier delivers. Caught. First down. Illinois. Colin Dixon. Illini, they're starting to get their confidence.
They really are, and again, it's the ability to attack that deep middle of the field. When they're in zone coverage, that's exactly where you have to attack them. There are holes in that zone over the middle. That's where Altmaier needs to attack.
Gain of 17. Altmaier again. Quick strike this time. And it's Rust. And he's close to a first down. Caleb Downs with the tackle. Remember what Coach Bielema said. He went back and watched the Super Bowls. When the Giants beat the Patriots, spread them out and go fast.
That's right. That's exactly what they're doing, and they're having success.
2nd and 1. Here's a handoff. Fagan. A gain of 2.
But now, Gus, it changes. Why? Because the field shrinks. And you're inside of this red zone where Ohio State has been so good. They've got to try to get somebody open on the outside, a pick play or a matchup that they like.
First down and goal at the 9. Fagan with some room, dragged down by Arvell Reese.
Their biggest target is Justin Bowick. He's going to check into the game. He's number 0. Remember, he's 6'4", 210. He's a matchup that they could like on the outside. But you've got to try to decipher, is Ohio State going to be in man coverage or are they going to be in zone coverage?
Second and goal at the 7. A touchdown here would speak volumes for this Illinois team, especially from a confidence perspective. Lawfery, the pistol. They dump it off. Short side. Beatty! Down at the 1-inch line. Igbinosun with the saving tackle.
Beatty tried to spin himself back to the goal line. Does that ball break the plane? It looks like it's short. Left forearm on the field before that ball gets to the goal line.
Third down goal from the 1. Can Illinois get in? Altmaier pulls it out. Spins! And he doesn't get in. Sonny Styles denies him. Wow!
This is unbelievable. Altmaier's protecting the football. Does that ball get in? He's trying to spin. It's in his right hand.
It didn't.
I think Brett Bielema is going to want another look at this. The fact that the ball's in the right hand, it's not over the goal line, and so when he's down, it's short of the line to gain. I think that was a good spot by the official.
So they'll take a look. Coach B.
Replay will look at the previous play. The ruling on the field was short of the line to gain.
Gus, how do they do this at the goal line? It's wild.
And we saw this last year.
Yes, time and time again. This is the second down play. Beatty spins around. He's short. The left forearm goes down. Then on third down, Altmaier is out here, same side of the field. And there's Sonny Styles. And because that ball is in his right hand, when he actually goes down right there, it's short of the goal line. We do have a camera, a cart cam that's right there down the goal line, but it was being blocked. That's the best look they're going to get, and there's nothing that's going to overturn the call on the field from the looks that we're seeing right now. This is remarkable. I've just never seen anything like it. This amount of sustained success defensively at the goal line. Don't you have to go for this? I mean, I know it's like, well, don't you? 20-6, who cares? Still 2 possessions.
Fourth down and goal at the 1.
Obviously, 20-10 is 2
ruling on the field is upheld. Fourth down.
You got to go.
I think you do. I mean, they can't do it again, I mean, this is... I would get in the same formation. I would send 3 wide receivers over to the right side. And I would let Luke Altmaier, kind of like the third down play, have some sort of quarterback read in the run game. Maybe even lead a tight end in front of him. Cannot false start. They did that last time they were in this situation.
All right, here we go. Fourth down and goal at the 1. Aiton Lawfery in the backfield, out of the offset eye. They pitch it to him, and they'll get in. Woo! Illinois. Hank Beatty with the pitch. Great call by Illinois.
Now that is an unbelievable design right there. You hand it to Beatty, he's in the backfield, and then he executes an option out to Lawfery right there. The handoff option play. Of course they have that in the playbook. They walk into the end zone. Boy, it was tough, but they paid it off.
12 plays, covering 75 yards. The Illini score to open the third quarter. First rushing touchdown allowed by Ohio State this year. Extra point is good. 20-10. Folks, now we got a game. Illini with confidence. Coach B, here we go.
Tomorrow on Fox NFL Sunday, CT sits down with Cowboys Javonte Williams and George Pickens. Puka Nacua catches up with EA to discuss his historic start, and special guest Bon Jovi. It's a runaway Sunday. Coverage starts at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox.
All right, 20-10. Ohio State on top of Illinois. But I love that last play.
Yeah.
You looked at Matt Patricia on the sideline, and
he was like, well, I don't see that being a bet.
You got me. So here's Ennis. And Brandon Ennis hopping forward. And he'll give Ohio State some great field position. So, you know, Gronk's got to, now that he's on the pregame show, he's got to pronounce all these hard names, Joel. Check this out.
Watch this.
And you got to give a credit to this rookie sensation wide receiver out of Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, going for over 100 yards. Emeka Egbuka. I'm getting confused.
I don't believe any of that grunt shtick. I think he's like a Mensa person. And that's an act.
Oh, well, he's going to have an easier time.
All the way to the bank.
When Jeremiah Smith gets there.
Yeah, be better.
Time. Emeka Egbuka.
Hey, you know what, Gronk? I resemble that remark. First down and 10 at the 37. Here's a handoff to Donaldson. And let's see if that last touchdown ignites this Illinois defense.
Yeah, they've got to come out. And they've got to, one, stop the run on first down. Okay, check. Well, now you've got to make sure that you're not allowing a big play over the top. They've done a nice job keeping their safeties deep, not allowing these wide receivers to get over the top.
Loss of 1, second down and 11. Sayin over the middle. Oh, he's got his tight end on the seam route. Max Clare. Big throw, 24 yards.
He's like the lost guy in this offense. Transfers in from Purdue, where he was a second-team AP All-American. And at least in the preseason, like, this guy is a great player and got one-on-one and made him pay.
First down to the 42 now. And the handoff to C.J. Donaldson. James Thompson with the tackle.
Every week, Max Clare gets a little bit better and more integrated into this offense. Last week against Minnesota, he had 5 catches for 63 yards, and that was a big completion right there on second down.
Looking like a young Brent Jones, the legendary San Francisco 49ers 3-time Super Bowl winning tight end. Second down and 8 at the 40.
You worked with Brent.
That's right. Worst days of my life. Here's the handoff, Jackson. And Akers with the stop, gain of 3.
Another chance here for Illinois, trying to get off the field. You know, where Ohio State has had success is versus soft coverage on the outside, just throwing it out to Jeremiah Smith or Carnell Tate on those short underneath routes on the outside. I wonder if Illinois will maybe put a safety over the top and allow these corners to play tighter coverage on the outside wide receivers.
Jeremiah Smith, the receiver at the bottom of your screen, number 4.
He's got bump coverage in one-on-one. This might turn into a fade.
3rd and 5. And some movement on the left side. This may go against the Buckeyes.
Before the snap, timeout Illinois, their first of the half. It will be 30 seconds in length.
So a timeout called by the Illini. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Allstate. You're in good hands. Welcome back to Champaign. 20-10, 7:54 to play in the third quarter. Turned it out to be not just a good game, folks, but a great game. Illinois showing some signs. Ohio State faced with 3rd down and 5 right now. Can the Illini get off the field is the question.
You know, I wonder if this would be 4-down territory. They're right on the edge of Jaden Fielding's range, the field goal kicker for Ohio State. So I wonder if they would have 2 snaps here to try to move the chains.
3rd down 5 at the 37. Smith at the bottom of your screen. And some movement up front. Akers jumped.
Offside. Defense number 17. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Man, that's just a huge mistake. Okay, watch the left guard. The left guard is Carson Hinsman. He taps the center, and then everyone's expecting the quick snap right there. But they hold it for a beat, and then Sarabel, the left tackle, he steps out in order to make sure that the call is made right there, and Akis can't get back into position. And now it makes it a 3rd and 1, and I would certainly think now it's a 4-down territory. You got 2 snaps here to get this 1 yard.
Third and 1 at the Illinois 33. Sayin looking, flushed out, on the move, complete. 1st down. Will Kazmarek, a gain of 7.
Well, they get pressure from the interior, but watch Julian Sayin. He does a great job eluding the pressure, gets out of the pocket to the right, and then finds his tight end, Kazmarek, for an easy completion and a 1st down. I tell you, the poise for Sayin really jumps out to me just because he's such a young player. You know, making his first few starts here in college football, his 2nd time on the road, and he looks very poised.
1st and 10. And here's the reverse to Smith. He's got blockers. Oh, he's upended. What a tackle. Torrey Cox.
Oh, and Smith was shaken up. They've got 2 blockers out there. You've got Max Clare and Sarabel, and neither of them blocked Torrey Cox. He just splits the 2 blockers, and he's able to get after Jeremiah Smith, who landed awkwardly. Watch, he kind of gets his back bent. He lands on his face, and he went off to the sideline quickly after that, and they're attending to him now on the bench.
2nd and 7 at the 23. Interesting turn of events. Now, the best player in college football is on the bench. Play clock. Now a timeout call by Ohio State.
Charge timeout, Ohio State. Their 1st of the half.
And Ryan Day is not happy.
The officials were holding the snap because they had substituted, and Illinois substituted very late and was jogging off the field. The officials were allowing it, and they are still attending to Jeremiah Smith over on the sideline. That's obviously the biggest news going on in the game.
Do you see his helmet?
Here's the play he was shaken up on. Again, the left tackle, Sarabel, and Max Clare just totally whiff on Torrey Cox. And you can see how awkwardly he lands.
Head first.
Yeah, head first. Gus, that leg kind of bending back. And he is still wincing over there. Yeah, and you can tell I think he's looking at his back because of the way he bent. Well, that's now becomes easily the biggest story of the game so far, and possibly across the entire country. This is a different team without that guy on the field.
2nd down and 7 at the 23. Donaldson, and he smashes forward and picks up a 1st down. At left side of the offensive line, opening up a nice hole. Luke Montgomery, Sarabel, as well as Heinzman.
Got to include the tight end, Kazmarek, a good block. Phillip Daniels pulls around from the right tackle position. It's a nice job by that left side.
1st down and 10 at the Illinois 15 for Julian Sayin. Bo Jackson checks in at running back. Sayin on the short roll, dumps it down. Jackson, and he's tackled in space by Torrey Cox Jr. again. And Jackson's a little gimpy.
And he's got an ankle taped up. That left ankle is taped up for Bo Jackson, and not the right ankle, and he's kind of favoring that side, and so he'll head to the sideline. James Peoples checks into the game at tailback.
2nd down and 7 at the 12. Jeremiah Smith with his helmet on, standing up, ready to check back in. Here's a handoff. Peoples, and Peoples lunges forward. Kareem with the stop after a 2-yard gain.
I got to hand it to these safeties for Illinois.
Well, they're playing some ball.
Yeah, Matt Bailey, we talked about him. Gus, this is Sabor Kareem. He steps up, makes a big play. Miles Scott has been in there.
Torrey Cox. So a timeout. 5:02 to go in the third quarter. Back in a moment. Start your Saturday strong with Big Noon. Explosive duo Bryce Underwood and Justice Haynes lead Michigan against Washington at the Big House. It all starts at 10 a.m. Eastern with Big Noon kickoff. Then it's Washington, Michigan, only on Fox. 20-10 our score. Jeremiah back in. 5:02 to go. Ohio State faced with a 3rd and 5 at the Illinois 10. C.J. Donaldson in the backfield with Julian Sayin. Ennis goes in motion. Here's Sayin looking underneath. Caught Donaldson. And Donaldson denied the first down. That'll bring up 4th down and about 1. Leon Lowry with the tackle.
Well, they are not calling in the field goal unit. They'll send the tight ends on the field. They'll try to get big here, and Ryan Day will get aggressive, and they'll go for it on 4th down. Moment of the game for this Illinois defense. Have to get a stop.
2 tight ends. 4th down 1 at the 6. Donaldson, all 232 pounds. The deep man in the offset eye. Now they switch the formation. Donaldson, and it's Sayin leaning forward, and he'll get the first down and a whole lot more. A brotherly shove gives them 3.
Look at the hole in the defense right here. I'm so surprised they had nobody right over the center or in that A gap, the gap just to the right of the center between he and the guard. And every time you're going to quarterback sneak, Gus, as a quarterback, you're taught to go to the bubble, the soft spot. And that was right in front of Sayin. Great push from the interior of that O-line and an easy conversion.
1st down and goal at the 3-yard line. Donaldson runs into a crowd. And he'll get to the 2, maybe even the 1, depending on the spot.
Boy, it's just been so methodical for this offense. Not a lot of big plays. We haven't seen them throw the football down the field all that much. Illinois has done a nice job trying to take that element of this Ohio State game plan away, but here they better get big and get tough against this run game.
13th play of the drive. The longest Ohio State drive of the day. Donaldson, he can smell it. They give it, and he's hit before he gets to the line of scrimmage by James Kreutz. No gain.
Kreutz came flying in. Here he is as his linebacker position. Watch him just knife into the defense. The guard doesn't see him coming. He's in the backfield, and he's able to stop Donaldson along with JoJo Hayden and produce another 3rd down.
Biggest play for the defense of the day right here. 3rd down and goal. Can they keep him out of the end zone? Out of the eye. Donaldson. I don't know. Touchdown. C.J. Donaldson.
Boy, he got a great block from the tight end, Nate Roberts, who's coming around right here from the fullback position. He's going to kick out, and then as Donaldson makes contact, he's going to spin back to his back and just get across the goal line for a touchdown.
Fielding in for the extra point. And it's good. Ohio State goes on a 14-play, 63-yard drive. They ate up almost 8 minutes, 27-10.
And welcome back to Champaign. I know everyone's been watching Jeremiah Smith so closely. You guys saw him. They were obviously looking at that low back. Now, he normally always sits down with his crew. He was quick to stand up, clearly a little bit uncomfortable with that low back as he is now on the bike. And while all that was happening with Smith, Bo Jackson also dealing with a little bit of a left ankle injury. He's now getting his ankle retaped for the second time. He's dealing with something as well. Both do have their helmets and are available right now, guys.
Just love to watch the medical staffs take care of these players. They do such a wonderful job, and they can do it quickly when they need to.
That's exactly right. And yeah, just as a former player, what their work is, it's tireless, it's thankless, and yet it's so necessary to keep you on the field.
So Luke Altmaier and the Illini will come on. Flag on the play.
Offside, kicking team number 39. The 5-yard penalty be added to the end of the kick. First down, Illinois.
All right, well, you take stock in, all right, what's been working for Illinois? If you're Barry Lunny, the offensive coordinator, what's been working is high-tempo spread offense, letting Luke Altmaier be the point guard. You're 17 points down to a team that has given up 10 points so far, and that's the most points they've given up at any point this season. So what do? You got to stick with what's working. Let Luke Altmaier cook.
First down and 10 at the 30. Altmaier. Screen. Lawfrey. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. You talk about the intelligence, excuse me. You talk about the intelligence of this Ohio State defense. You see it, they seem like they always know where to go.
Well, and the other part of it is they can change positions. You know, for Matt Patricia, Caleb Downs can line up as a linebacker, a free safety, a corner. They can just interchange at any moment.
Second down and 10. And Altmaier has it stripped. Ohio State has the ball. Jermaine Matthews Jr. punched it out. And it's recovered by Caden Curry. Third turnover of the day by Illinois.
Well, he's going to come from this slot corner position, and here's the blitz. It comes from a long way out, and Altmaier never sees him. The coverage rotates, and right before he's trying to let go of that ball, Matthews is able to strip it out, and Curry is Johnny on the spot, and he's able to get the turnover for Ohio State. Another short field for this offense for the Buckeyes, and another mistake for Illinois. We've seen several today, and Matt Patricia dials up that blitz from Jermaine Matthews. Remember, he's playing that slot corner for the first time this year. Lorenzo Styles is out. Jermaine Matthews, normally an outside player, moved inside and comes in and gets the strip sack for Ohio State.
Matt Patricia, a mathematician. That's what he got his advanced degree in. First down and 10 at the 24. For Sayin. He'll throw it. Sayin. And incomplete. Bo Jackson, the target.
I was just going to say, you can tell Bo is not right. You know, it comes out, tries to burst, and he's going to jog off the field, and Peoples will go on. So clearly battling that left ankle, and I tell you, Illinois is making them earn it. They're not giving up any big plays, even when they want to throw heavy play action pass. Very similar to the game plan that Washington used defensively. And Washington's defensive coordinator, Ryan Walters, was here at Illinois. And Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator here, was an understudy of them.
Second down and 10 of the 24. Sayin guns it to the sideline, and it's caught. Carnell Tate. And he'll get close to that first down marker.
Gus, do you know how hard that throw is? Far hash to your left out route. It's got to be thrown right on the money and right on time. Beautiful throw and timing from Julian Sayin and a connection with Carnell Tate.
Carnell Tate, what an impressive young man. 3.7 grade point average in the sports industry major at Ohio State. He's also into real estate. He's starting to flip houses. He said, Joe, though, just on a low level right now. Eventually, I'll do apartment buildings and shopping malls. Here's a handoff. Donaldson, first down. Our kids are so amazing. And these Buckeyes are showing that they're amazing as well. There is a flag that has been thrown.
Yeah, Jeremiah Smith, and it looked like I think that was Gies Clark. They were tangled up after the play.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on both teams. Offense number 4, defense number 6. The foul's canceled. It is first down.
Here it was on the outside, and they're tangled up like this. And
did you see the strength of Jeremiah Smith at the end?
Remember, I told you earlier, Gies Clark has followed him around all day. So every snap,
he's annoyed.
These two are going at it.
He's like a little brother.
That's right. That's right.
There they are, 1st and 10 at the 12. Let's see if Sayin tries to go to Jeremiah. They'll hand it off. Donaldson. Between the tackles, Bailey brings him down. And that'll take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Ohio State starting to put it in high gear now, led by their defense. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by AT&T Business, connecting changes everything. Today, as we start the 4th quarter, this game has been dominated by the Ohio State defense. They forced 3 turnovers on the road. Hard to score on these guys. Look at the time of possession. 27 minutes. Buckeyes knocking on the door once again. Their offensive line has been really solid. Julian Sayin, efficient. 17 of 24, 161, a touchdown, no picks. 2nd down and 6 at the 8. C.J. Donaldson in the backfield. They give it to him. Donaldson fighting forward. Initial contact made by Matthew Bailey.
I think one of the things that I'm so impressed with is the balance with which they can attack you. You know, we've seen potent offenses with great skill position players before, and Gus, they get impatient. They try to take shots, but this offense, they say, all right, you want us to snap it 10 times to score? Great, that's what we'll do. You want to give us a big play? Great, we'll try to take that as well. And it's the methodical nature with which they play that I think makes it so difficult to try to stop them. As you can see, very balanced, 30 rushes on the day.
3rd down and 1 at the 3. Inside handoff. And should be a first down. Nate Roberts was the carry, and it is a first down. So that brings up 1st down and goal for Ohio State.
Remember, this offensive line has to go against their defensive line in practice on these goal line opportunities. So if you want to get better trying to run the football inside of the 2-yard line, well, this Ohio State offensive line's got to play their defensive line. That's why they're so good.
Play clock winding down. I don't think they're going to get it off.
I think Ryan ran down and got a timeout late.
Charge timeout, Ohio State, their 2nd of the half. It will be 30 seconds in length.
Ryan Day, let's talk about him. I think you have to give Coach Day so much credit for what he's built. No, first of all, let's say this. You have to give Urban Meyer a lot of credit for handing the program off to safe hands.
But do we have to?
Unfortunately,
yes,
we do.
You're exactly right.
But then when you look at Coach Day, though, to have the courage last year to hire Chip Kelly, a former NFL head coach, and this year to hire Matt Patricia, a former NFL head coach, 3-time Super Bowl winning champion. I just got to tell you, I wouldn't hire Al Michaels or Jim Nantz or Joe Buck or Kevin Burkhardt.
Right.
Okay?
That's not job security.
No.
Well, it takes a confident guy, and think about what he's been able to do. Fastest in Big Ten history with 75 wins. He's got the highest win percentage of any coach in the history of college football. And he's put this program in a place that right now I think that you would have to say Ohio State is the preeminent program in our sport. And that's a huge credit to Ryan Day.
First down and goal at the 2. Donaldson can smell it again. No, Sand will throw it. Touchdown, Jeremiah Smith. How simple can it get when you have number 4 on your team?
Check out this release. Just a little inside move and then explodes to the outside. And Juice Clark can't cover him. We've seen him now a couple of times. So last week, Minnesota inside the red zone, inside the 10. They tried to single cover Jeremiah Smith, immediately touchdown. When they see that one-on-one, the ball goes to number 4 immediately. It does here today, and it winds up for a Buckeye touchdown.
And you got to give Smith a lot of credit battling back from that back injury. He tweaked it back on the field, and he scores a touchdown. Ohio State, 21 points off turnovers. Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years.
The Pacific Life Game Summary sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Well, it's been the 3 turnovers that have really been the difference in this game. This Ohio State defense has been suffocating on this Illini offense. Caden McDonald with a strip right here. Jermaine Matthews strip sack. Caden Curry is able to jump on it, and the offense has capitalized. 21 points off turnovers here today for the Buckeyes. They've been efficient. It's just a suffocating team to play. You know, methodical on offense today, haven't gotten the big plays, and then that defense is just outstanding.
This time, Illinois will get a chance. Sanders and Mario Sanders tracked down Stover with the tackle on special teams.
You know, part of the reason I want to show you something, Gus, this is very unique to college football because it's more of an NFL style of defense. Here you got a 4-down defensive front, okay? So what do? You come out, all of a sudden there's 5 guys up at the line of scrimmage. But wait, there's more. You come up, now there's 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. So it's not just about the disguise of the coverage in the back end through the safeties, but it's also mixing up the fronts, and it creates a lot of pressure on the offensive line, and also it creates one-on-one blocking opportunities with those linebackers and defensive linemen.
First down at the 16. Here's the run. Lawfrey. Downs in on the play. There's Matt Patricia. He usually has that signature pencil right behind his ear. There it is.
You know, Gus, it's not even suffocating. You know what this defense is? It's relentless.
Yeah, but that pencil don't work. It doesn't work on that laminated stuff. What's that there? That's just, look at him. He's an actor.
It's just for show.
Second down and 9 at the 17. Altmaier drops it off. Lawfrey tried to hurdle. And Sanchez doesn't bite along with Sonny Styles.
You know, I got to give Devin Sanchez his flowers today in his first start. He was the #1 cornerback recruit in the country, a 5-star player. Could have gone anywhere. You know what's interesting? You know why he came to Ohio State?
Why?
He wanted the challenge. He said, I'm going to be a better player by playing against those wide receivers every day in practice. You know, a guy thinking ahead and thinking forward down the line to try to mature and become a better player, and he's played pretty well today.
Third down and 5 at the 21. Underneath, Altmaier, nice throw, sidearm, and it's caught by Cole Rusk. We asked Matt Patricia last time we saw him week 1 against Texas, when the players look in your eyes, what's the question that they're asking you? And he said, the question they're asking, I just want to know. Tell me, coach. Just like that. Look at Downs. He drops Hudson Clement immediately. Some feel that Downs is the best defensive player in America.
Okay, so great defenders, and in particular in an intricate defense like this, they've got to be hybrid, a Swiss Army knife, if you will, and that's exactly what Downs is. He can play anywhere on the field. He's the smartest guy on the field, and I think the beauty of this scheme is that they allow him to play in the middle of the field more often. And oh, look at it. He's about to come on the blitz.
Jumped offside.
Flag on the play.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's Josh Kreutz, the center.
I think Josh Kreutz on that hard clap, he wanted to try to snap it when Downs was in the neutral zone. See, he looks over and he flinches just like that, but Downs has the opportunity to get back, but that flinch with the right arm for Kreutz draws the flag.
So that makes a second down and 15 at the 24. Altmaier out of the pocket, decides to run it and goes out of bounds at the 30. 6-yard gain.
I remember a couple of years ago watching a really good defense at Michigan. Buckeye fans, hold on for a second. I used to say that they felt like a boa constrictor. This one feels more like a pack of lions. It's like a pride of lions out there. They're so fast.
Oh, they're fast.
They're just hunting every single play.
3rd down and 9 at the 30. Altmaier under pressure. Almost intercepted by Igbinosun. Beatty, the intended receiver, and Illinois will have to punt. If you think about it, it's almost if we're getting ready to approach, or we're in the middle of a golden age of football here in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah.
Back-to-back national champions. You got Ohio State playing at a high level this year, along with Oregon, Michigan. You think they may be able to be good. Indiana has been sensational.
I can't wait for that game up in Eugene later today as Indiana goes on the road to face what has been a dominant Duck team.
Dante Moore, the quarterback there. This ball fielded at the 25 by Ennis, and he's wrapped up and taken down. 45-yard punt, no return. Back to Champaign after this. Tomorrow, the ALCS begins on Fox's Cal Raleigh, the big dumper. And the Mariners look to steal Game 1 in Toronto against Red Hot Vlad Jr. and the Blue Jays. Game 1 of the ALCS coverage begins tomorrow at 7 Eastern on Fox. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft, Mike Pereira with you. 1st down and 10 at the 23 for the Buckeyes. Up big, 34-10. Julian Sayin over the middle and incomplete. His tight end, Max Clare, got lit up by Miles Scott.
Scott's going to ask out of the game, but it's been and he's going to go down right here, so we'll get a stoppage. I think he maybe knocked knees or something with Max Clare. Max Clare is a big player, 6'5", 243 pounds. Scott only 210. Trying to hit the seam right down the middle of the field to the tight end. Ball is on the money, but you see right there, yeah, their knees, left knees, banged into each other there as there's a big hit from Miles Scott, and he's done a nice job today. I got to tell you, like this Illinois defense, they've tried to take away the big plays from Ohio State, and you look at the coverage that they've been playing, and it's been soft, right? So they come out with a big zone defense, an umbrella back there, nowhere to go with the football, obviously, so they're trying to play underneath. But even when they only have a single safety, look how deep he gets on the field, trying to take away those shots to these athletic players, and Julian Sayin sees that coverage. Watch these linebackers bailing out, playing soft, so you got to go underneath. And Ohio State has been willing to do that. In fact, they've only had one 20-yard play today. You look at the Texas game, they only had one. Washington, they didn't have any. Minnesota played them a little bit more aggressive, so they took those shots, and they created 6 explosives with their offense.
2nd down and 10 at the 23. Sayin handing it off. But I tell you what, we've been talking a lot about the defense, a lot about the coaches, but this kid right here, Julian Sayin, I don't know, partner, it's just something about him. He's smooth, he's silk, and you can see his confidence is growing every day.
Yeah, it was a great report from Ginny earlier about his voice and the confidence with which he speaks. The offensive lineman talked about that this week to us when we were able to chat with him. Guys like Luke Montgomery, the left guard.
3rd down and 8. At the 25, Sayin again, steps up in the pocket, delivers out wide to Ennis. And Ennis wrapped up. Bailey jumps on him. He'll pick up 4.
And again, just forcing Sayin to check the ball down.
I tell you, this Matthew Bailey is violent.
He's been all over the field, number 7. We've called his name several times in the run game. There on the outside against Ennis.
So on 4th down, they'll punt. Beatty back deep. Joe McGuire will send it away from around the 15. Bailey, by the way, with 8 tackles. Delay a game called on the Buckeyes.
Penalty, 4th down.
Illinois was set up for the rush here, trying to block this punt, and Ohio State was trying to match them and change their protection around, and it just took them too long.
Now McGuire from the 10. Pops it up. And fair caught at the 38. 38-yard punt. 34-10. Ohio State leading here in Illinois. Thirty-four to 10. Altmaier on 1st down. All day to throw it off his back foot. Caught. Dixon. And Dixon taken down by Peyton Pierce after an 18-yard gain. 8:10 to play. Been a terrific day of college football, folks. We are watching the best team in America, the Ohio State Buckeyes, against the Illinois team that came in here on a 2-game winning streak. Been playing great ball, but just not enough today against the national champions. 2nd down and 4 at the 38. There's another handoff. Lawfery. And Lawfery looking for daylight. Pierce there again as he gains a yard. Jason Moore as well.
You know, in this day and age, we see teams, you know, struggle on the road. We saw it last week with Texas and Penn State, and got the sense like, hey, is this that day for Ohio State? The answer is an emphatic no.
3rd down and 3 at the 37. Different animal. Altmaier. Nobody open. Altmaier finally finds a receiver, and it's Beatty. Hank Beatty's had a strong day. 7-yard gain, 1st down. Illini. From the 30. Luke Altmaier. Checks it down again. Lawfery.
Pass complete to Lawfery.
Dropped by Aaron Scott Jr. He'll gain 5.
Aaron Scott is another one of these talented young corners. Was one of the top recruits in the country last year, so in his 2nd year here at Ohio State. Bright future with he and Devin Sanchez.
2nd and 5. Altmaier out wide. And it's Anderson. Sonny Styles stands him up after a 4-yard gain.
You know, all the talk about this defense, we really haven't had a chance to discuss how good their linebackers are. Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. You know, these guys as a tandem are the best linebacker core in the country.
3rd down and 1. And Illinois will not get it. That's because guess who? Arbel Reese.
He is so fast.
And big. Can you imagine if he was chasing you, Joel?
No, that's an immediate slide as he's chasing me down with his 4.5 time. Benches 410 pounds at 243, and he's 6'4". It's the length and the speed. Sonny Styles is 6'5". You know, this linebacker core, they're powerful, but they can run.
4th down, they're going for it. And it should be a 1st down.
1st down, Illinois.
Jordan Anderson. First down at the 19. Altmaier. Wings it. Incomplete. Flag on the play, though. Jermaine Matthews should be called for interference. That ball intended for Bowick.
Defense number 7. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
Another one of these in the corner of the end zone. We've seen several. Brett Bielema has been arguing for this call all day long, and here Matthews just into the chest of the wide receiver Bowick, and he draws the flag.
After the penalty, 1st and goal for Illinois at the Buckeye 4-yard line.
So that'll make it 1st down and goal from the 4. Ohio State favored by 15.5. They fake the option over the middle. Touchdown. Colin Dixon. Nice play.
They figured out that offense inside the 5. Watch the misdirection here as Altmaier is going to fake a couple of different times. First on this jet sweep across, then the fake pitch, and then he sets up in the pocket as his wide receiver Colin Dixon late release into the middle of the end zone, and he's able to beat Aaron Scott for a touchdown.
So Illinois electing to go for 2. Altmaier will throw it. Looks. End zone. Incomplete. He couldn't find Alexander Kapka Jones. So it's a 34-16 game. With 4 minutes and 25 seconds left.
You knew they would fight. You know, just don't know if there's enough time. You'd probably expect an onside here. Try to get the ball back if you're Illinois. You know, Altmaier has been pretty efficient. 25 of 37 for 183. It's just so difficult. Remember, he came in last week. He threw for 390 yards.
He's thrown for 300 yards in back-to-back games. Did it against USC as well.
The one thing you just cannot do is you can't give Ohio State extra chances, and those 3 turnovers for Illinois just doomed them today. They also, aside from those 3 turnovers, they fielded a punt on their knee that basically is like a 4th down stop and acts as a turnover. So really it's like 4 turnovers that you're giving this Ohio State team.
So the onside kick coming. Olano. And looks like Ennis has it. Coming into this game, talking to the Illinois coaches, their goal was to make Ohio State play from behind because there was a feeling that the Buckeyes offense wasn't built to play from behind. What are your thoughts?
Well, in order to do that, you've got to start fast, you know, and what they were unable to do is sustain anything early in this game and build that lead. And Brett Bielema also said, you know, the formula for him has been the formula forever, and he's been very successful everywhere he's been. 3rd stop as a head coach. But his formula, Gus, is, and he said it very bluntly to us yesterday, run the ball, defend the run, cover kicks. If we do those things, we're going to be just fine here at Illinois. But they were just unable to run the football and had to go into that spread tempo offense with Luke Altmaier as a point guard, throwing it around because they couldn't run the football. In fact, only 2.2 yards per rush, 26 carries, 57 yards. Ohio State, you know, they didn't run the football in a dominant fashion. They're only running it for 3.2 a carry, but they've got 107, and they've been able to just kind of stay steady with that run game.
Second down and 8 at the 43. And Isaiah West in the game now at running back for the Bucks. So let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the world famous national champs. Wisconsin on the road, Penn State at home. What's happened with Penn State?
Man, I'll tell you what, that it's like Oregon beat them twice, you know,
Yes.
and that hangover going onto the road. Allard tried to bring them back, unable to do so. But how about UCLA? UCLA putting it on Michigan State. So they've turned around
on the road.
But then, you know, as far as this schedule, and Buckeye fans, we know there's only one that you really want, and it's that last one, Thanksgiving week, the game, as you travel up to Ann Arbor.
Big game for them today against USC. West. Wolverines on the road in Southern California.
Yeah, that'll be a great game against USC, who's potent on offense. USC has never really been able to answer the bell since moving over to the Big Ten physically. You know, and they'll certainly have to play their best game from a physical standpoint against Michigan. You know, this schedule for Illinois, though, coming up, you know, I know it's disheartening. They got a couple of losses right now, but look at this schedule. And Gus, at Washington is a difficult game. Now, they do have a bye between that, so they'll be off next week. They've played 7 in a row here to start the year. At Washington is going to be difficult. Maryland is a little bit better, but that's an incredibly manageable schedule. So you look at that, and that Washington game becomes the pivotal game. There's still a path here for Illinois to get to 10-2, and if they can get to 10-2, you know, you're going to be in the discussion. I don't know if it puts you in the playoff, but it's certainly still a path to be in the discussion late in the year. What I fully expect to be a debate between several teams at 10-2 to get that last spot in the college football playoff.
McGuire will send it off from the 44. Hank Beatty is the deep man at his own 10. This one should draw back. Nobody goes forward. Into the end zone for a touchback. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, there's a fun story when it comes to the Bielema family, and that is Bielema's daughters and their love for this team. So a quick note, when we were catching up with Coach, he said he asked his daughters, what do you guys want to be for Halloween? Well, Brexley said, obviously, Luke Altmaier. So here's the thing. Those jerseys came in last night. The girls are ready. Brexley still has a mullet on the way, so that will complete the costume. We got to get a little love to their biggest fans out there. Obviously, Luke is so proud to be a part of this team, loves the Bielema family, and that, no doubt, is what it's all about at the end of the day, guys.
And Luke Altmaier showing his loyalty to Illinois. He could have left during the offseason. A couple of schools offered him some pretty big money.
Yeah, and, you know, it never wavered. Never even called Brett Bielema to try to match those offers. He just said, nope, I'm here.
I don't know if that was a good idea.
He's young.
Why is youth wasted on the young? Oh, why would he do that?
Teach Luke about leverage.
That's called free agency. Come on, man.
I'm glad he stayed here.
Yes.
You know, and showed his loyalty. There's no doubt, you know, that can be rare in this day and age of college football, but that's why they love him here.
Second down and 11 over the middle. Nice toss and grab by Cole Rusk. 17 yards, and that should take us to the 2-minute timeout.
And the reason I bring up that 10-2 opportunity is because of number 9. You know, with him at quarterback, they're not going to have to face this defense every week. So with Luke Altmaier, they've got a path towards 10-2. But today, it's been all Buckeyes. The Silver Bullets. Jeremiah Smith up 34-16.
Big Noon Saturday is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Nothing stops Ram. In a few moments, some of you in Texas and Kansas will be taken to the start of the TCU K-State game. That game is also available on the Fox Business Network. Both our games are also streaming on the Fox Sports app. We will get you out there at the immediate conclusion of our game. TCU beating Colorado in their last game, and Deion Sanders, who we love here at Fox Sports, who we love in college football, has been going through some medical issues. You went to Colorado. What's the status on Prime?
Yeah, Prime had a procedure this week, a 4-hour procedure, and I'm just hoping and praying everything went well. Great completion there on the outside to Altmaier, but college football is better with Prime in it, and we've seen that over the last couple of years. So, Coach, we're thinking of you. We're praying for you.
Yes, we are.
And hope for a speedy recovery. They fear that those blood clots that he's been battling at times during his life have come back.
First down at the 49. Nice throw by Altmaier to Rusk. He'll get inside the Ohio State 30. A gain of 21.
This team will never quit. You know that. Week after they lost by 53, they rolled out and beat USC in an emotional win.
First and 10 at the 29. Altmaier, guess who? Bill Reese.
Luke Altmaier sacked by number 8, Arvell Reese.
Chargers timeout Illinois. They're finally in the game. 30 seconds in length.
What a ball player, folks, you're looking at right now. You are looking at a star, a young man that has it, Arvell Reese.
See how fast he closed on Altmaier on that pressure. Matt Patricia dialing it up. So here's Arvell Reese, and he's going to be blitzing right here. Downs comes up the back. Tell you, that's a business decision from the back. Do you see the back? He was like, all right, which guy am I taking?
Not number 8.
I'll take number 2. And Luke Altmaier's like, really? You're going to leave me number 8? It's another sack for Arvell Reese. Man, he's been so productive every single week, making plays. Came into this ball game with 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. And I tell you, every week I walk around the field before the game and we'll chat with the scouts a little bit, and I'm like, which one? And they go, number 8.
Number 8. 4 sacks for Ohio State today. Altmaier under pressure. Got that one off, and Rusk makes a nice catch. He'll pick up 14. Remember, Ohio State favored by 15.5.
Second time you brought that up.
Here's another throw. I mean, if you're playing for milkshakes.
Listen, now let's just
if you're playing for milkshakes, as Marv Albert would say.
If there's a milkshake on the line, you're watching intently.
Or even $1.
$1.
The gentleman's bet, Mortimer. Fourth down and 6. Illinois going for it. Altmaier under pressure. Incomplete. Matt Patricia brought more pressure. And the Fighting Illini will turn it over on downs. Caden Curry. And if you think about it, Joel, the names we're talking about this year weren't the names that we talked about last year.
They had to replace all of those starters. Remember, this is a team that lost 14 draft picks. 14. Led college football with the number of draft picks, and that man, Ryan Day, just reloaded. They're so deep, in an era where it's so difficult to keep your players and establish depth. They've been able to do that. And these guys...
Emeka Egbuka, 19th overall by the Bucks. Donovan Jackson, 24th overall by the Vikes. Tyleik Williams, 28th overall by the Lions. Josh Simmons, 30th overall by the Chiefs. Quinshon Judkins in the second round. Travion Henderson. I mean, the list goes on and on as you look at the standings in the Big Ten Conference.
Yeah, and regardless, here they are sitting at the top of the table again. And how about that UCLA team? Did not expect to see them on the first page of the standings, but here they are 2-1 after that 0-4 start.
Julian Sayin taking a knee, and the coaches cross. The Ohio State Buckeyes remain undefeated, coming into Champaign and defeating Illinois. Ryan Day, Newt Rockne, not Ryan Day, same guy now.
Yeah.
Winning percentage.